All right, sound check, sound check. You guys should hear me, and you should be able to see. And yeah, you can read that pretty good, I think. Guess I could try to move that up just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, that capture, for some reason, doesn't look like it's moving right now. Should be a little better there. Let's see. That looks a little better, I guess. 2 streams, yeah, Control Byte. I'm trying to get back in the order of things and working on stuff and trying to clean some stuff up in the home lab. So I'm gonna start working on a little bit of what do I got going on here? So web, let's call it website. And we're just going to work on some Linux. And as much as you guys want to hang out and do some Linux with me, Kubernetes will be on the table a little bit today. And we'll kind of get to wherever we get to tonight. I got a lot of stuff I need to work on, so I will be working on some of it tonight. If you guys need any explanation of stuff or what I'm working on, I'm just kind of hanging out, not working too hard. That's kind of the goal on Sundays. kubectl git deployments. Okay, so we got this deployment, kubectl git services, and we've got a web service for it, and then that, oh, look at Ranger Dog down there. Ranger's looking super cute. That's what he's doing. And that should be redirecting to that. Yeah, okay. So what I need to do is I need to build out, I'm going to open up a new page and pull it off to the side so you guys don't have to worry about it. And in this other page, I'm going to be working on, let me see if I can find something to do with Kubernetes. Let's see. I might even have to pull up my own basic little lab on some of this. Actually, really, I guess that would be the best way to do some of this. Let's see. kubectl git ns. What our namespace is. Default. That's all in our default namespace. I guess that's fine. Let's make a namespace kubectl create ns. And we'll call this data, right, just for now. And then we'll do kubectl. We're going to do some other creates in this other environment here. And they will be to, or in this other namespace here. And they will be to make probably like a backend MySQL. So let me pull up, I got a few other things from my own notes here that I got to pull up. Let me go grab those real quick. Where do I have that? 3-tier app. Actually, the easiest way to do this might just be to go steal stuff from my GitHub. Oops. Maybe. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to make me re-authenticate because I haven't been in it in a while. Oops. Then we need to go into our labs here, ProLUG labs. And one of the labs that I made a while back is the Kubernetes 3-tier app. We're going to stop this from rotating for a bit because it's pissing me off. But in my 3-tier app one, I have a few different steps and a few different things that I kind of do in here. So that part's all pretty straightforward. I've done all that. Let's go to, we don't need that right now. in my assets, I have some things that I might kind of want to steal from myself here. So this is how we reference the root password, but we need to put a root password in for this environment. So the way that we do that is from back over here, one of the steps, we actually make a root password pretty early on by dropping it in as a secret. So in my home environment, I'm going to make a secret here from literal, right? And I'm going to call this something else though. I'm going to do this slightly different. The namespace will be data, and the password we'll do one that is for the lab. Let's call this password. What do we want to call this? We'll do the very secure is fine. I guess I'm not really super worried about it in the initial setup because we can always change it later. So I'll leave that in here for now. So that'll be a very secure kubectl. Oh, I can't do the command twice. So we're going to create that in the data namespace, right? Then we're going to come back over here and whoops, back to the left. And the secret should be there. And then we need to make some storage. But I need to check out kubectl get pv resources and no pvs. Okay, pvc and pv. All right, so no resources are found. That's fine. And we'll go make some resources against the default MySQL in my environment. So let's go to kubectl get. What's the default storage called? That's fine. We'll see. We'll see if we can get it to work. We'll go over here to assets. Look at our default SQL storage that we used. And we use a localhost path. So that's an okay way to do it. I don't think that's a great way to do it. In mount data. We'll see. We'll see how we do here. So we're making this in the home lab here, and we might need to, yeah, let's see how it works here. TL create -f. This might break. Let's see. Yeah, I thought we might have one. Data's a problem. So gotta name the data right. Data 1 is not the right one. Data. We might have one other error, but we'll see. Oh, get the -n data 1 data. All right, and then PVC data. Oh, okay, so they're both there. So that's fine. So they're both made right in data, and they're bound. That's fine. That's all that I need for that then. All right. So if that's fine, then and by the way, you guys might notice I'm shamefully stealing from myself, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with taking stuff from a project I built a while back. So now what I need, now I've got my data for my back end of this. Then I'm going to go forward with building out my. So that's my MySQL part, and I've got the app. Now, next thing I need to do is build my actual MySQL deployment. My MySQL deployment will look like this, and that is all fine. Let's just copy raw file. PI. Doesn't matter if you use YAML or YML, it's up to you. And all I'm going to do is come up here and fix all the namespaces. We might want to go see what the newest version of MySQL is. I'm not actually sure what that is, so MySQL Docker image. Let's go see what the most recent version of that is for fun. Because I did 5.6 like a couple years ago when I originally wrote this. So what are we up to? Oh shit! We can't be that far up, can we? Caveat to MySQL. We're fine with all that. Because we're going to feed it, so normally you can feed in the database here, but you can feed in the database through Kubernetes the way that I'm doing it, instead of doing it on the command line, obviously, because you're not using Docker, you're now using this. I just want to see, what are the tags on the versions? Really, are we up to 9? The heck? Do I not even know what's going on in life anymore? Jeez. Alright, well, I mean, MySQL is, whoa, I mean, way up there. I was using 5 something. But I guess we can go newer. Let's we'll give it one of these newer ones. We won't go so new. See what the vulnerabilities are. These are not much changing on as far as fixing vulnerabilities, so there's probably not much reason to be bleeding edge up here. But maybe we'll take LTS 9. This will be a fine one. And we're going to actually throw that in here. So for MySQL, our version here, we're going to take LTS Oracle Linux 9. That's going to be the version that we're going to use. And that's fine with me. MySQL Service. All these things are fine for me. Yep. And as long as there's nothing that's changed real quick here on the config, so you always get the default when you guys come look at this, you always get like what you need to give in. So you need to give MySQL root password, which we're doing. That's being passed in from my secret key that we made earlier for MySQL. That's my very secure one, right? And then there's some other things that might be needed. In this case, if it'll tell us if we wanted to mount the storage somewhere else to use varlib MySQL, like to my own data dir, but that's fine. We're using persistent storage within a persistent volume claim, so that's perfectly fine. I just want to make sure there's no like major structural differences, and there's not. So I feel pretty good about what's going on here as far as Docker goes. Also, I apologize. I normally look at this in dark mode, and I don't know if I just haven't been on Docker Hub in a while, but normally Docker is dark mode for me, so I don't know why it's not. Normally when I'm on Docker, it's like this. So I apologize, guys. I wasn't trying to blast everybody's faces off. So let's leave that. Escape :WQ. Let's create that. kubectl create -f MySQL deploy. And in the home lab, we'll get those up. So now we've got those sequences up. So kubectl get pods -n data should give us, if that container creates right, should give us that. And if our PV C and PV are correct in here, we should see those as well. So our pods will container create, assuming that it pulls down those 140 something megs correctly, and works. All right, we'll give this a little bit of time. Right, so we'll let that run over there, then we'll pop over here, and we're just kind of moving fast. We'll leave that up so we have it, but then we'll also let this keep spinning so that we can see, okay, there's Ranger doing Ranger stuff. Home lab's doing fine. Not too many users on. We're actually pretty low on users. Normally we have more users coming through the jump box, but that's fine for now. Let's go find. Have I pushed that over lately? There we go. Okay, you guys are seeing the same screen I am. That's good. See all that stuff in case there's any questions or anything. I don't see anybody asking me anything, so I'm going to assume everything's going well. What I'm doing right now is I'm building in the home lab a 3-tier app kind of on the same order of what I've built before, and I'm just kind of cheating a little bit. And actually I'm cutting out the MySQL, I'm cutting out the web front end to it, and I'm just going to go straight to multiple application pods, and I think I'm going to be fine with that. I think that's going to work fine with what the app's going to be doing. It's going to be pretty basic little static page, and I think that that's just kind of what we'll run with here. So again, not working too hard, just kind of hanging out. Yeah. So we'll keep working on this. Again, if you guys have any questions about what I'm working on, I'm just kind of hanging out and building this stuff all. Okay, now we're running. So we're running, no restarts. Technically, I should be able to hop into that if I need to, and verify that that pod is working. I can do that with these set of steps that I have back here in my Kubernetes labs in lab 3. So this is our 3-tier. Technically, if I wanted to just kind of verify that I can load data up and stuff like that, I should be able to. Oh, that's our verification of the lab. We'll go step 2, text, and okay, we could test right here with any version of older. Do we want to put a service? We'll put service here in a little bit. Where is the? Hold on, guys. That's our. Yeah, we're not working too hard, guys. This is just us hanging out. Let's do the MySQL part. So we've made the file, we've done the MySQL, we've verified that we can get in. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just run an older version. This will be fine of a. But we need to change real quick the data. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a little bit older version of MySQL. Actually, you know what? We can do the same exact one from this. So MySQL, and then let me go to home here and pound, and then cat MySQL dash storage, and then .yaml, actually .deploy .yaml, and then grep dash I for MySQL. And the one that we want for this, we'll run the same one up here as well. So watch this. We'll just throw it right here. What is that? Rob, you raiding me again? You can't raid me twice, Rob. Not in one day. That's illegal. I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm just working on... we're not working too hard right now. Like I streamed earlier today, so now I'm just kind of sitting here in my little co-working ensemble. We could jump on stream if we really wanted to. If you guys wanted me to be here, like waving at you guys like a madman or whatever, I can do that. But we're just kind of hanging out right here. Yeah, Rob's pretty good. Yeah. Rob shows a lot of cool stuff. He definitely knows stuff better than I do. What I'm doing right now, if anybody was like, what's he actually doing? I'm actually very shamefully stealing from myself over here. This is my labs, the ProLUG labs. I'm on my killer code, or my GitHub right here for Het Tanis, right? That's me. So I'm very shamefully stealing from myself because I don't want to remember how to do everything. But what I'm about to do here, what you guys are about to see me do is I've already built out. If I were to pull up my little notepad, I put a little notepad, I guess, right in here for you guys, so you guys have a thing. Let me clean that up real quick. I'll put the notepad up so you guys can see kind of what my tasks are right now. Hold on. So let's go just new page on the notepad, and then I'm going to drop a notepad. Let me make a new little notepad for you guys. Hold on. Where would I have this? TTS. No, we're gonna make a new source. Screen capture. Add the source, and we'll do a new one. We'll call this Notepad ++, right? And then we'll grab Notepad ++, and we'll throw it. I'm going to throw this right down here so you guys can see it. Hold on. Take a second to get you guys over here. I'm going to make this thing real short too, so... I'm going to get it right over here. Alright. There. That's pretty okay. I think that's pretty out of the way. But on my notepad, it's build. So what have we done so far? So done is we built out a few new namespaces. Done is we built out a PV persistent volume and a persistent volume claim for MySQL in our system. Why did I use MySQL? Guys, I'm a simple dude. I do things that work for me. So I'll show you guys all that here in a second. We built out a MySQL pod and populated it with a password. So we did all these things, right? And now the next thing we're going to do, you guys should be able to see that, is we're going to check, can we connect to the pod, right? So that's what we're about to do here, is we're about to connect into the pod. And by doing that, we're going to pull down a new MySQL image, and it's going to drop us when we do this, right? This is a running of a thing. We're just arbitrarily calling this in Kubernetes MySQL client. That's an arbitrary name. We're putting it in the data namespace. We're calling the image MySQL LTS Oracle Linux 9 that we just looked up over here just to see if there was any useful information about it and anything we needed to see. We looked up some versioning stuff, whatever. And then we said, go ahead and execute in there, but then when we leave, go away forever. Like that's what we're saying here. We're only running this as long as we need to. We're not instantiating this like creating a pod, just so everybody knows. But now I'm in it. And if I were to say MySQL, I should be able to connect to some MySQL server if I know how to get over there to it. I actually need to probably do one other thing real quick. I need to make a service real quick. No, actually, we actually should have it already. So hold on, I'm going to exit real quick. And, exit. This is going to kill that pod forever. Don't worry, he's fine with it. Now we're going to say kubectl get service in the namespace of data. And there should be one service called MySQL service. And we're going to say describe that service for us. And that describing of that service should point back to MySQL-service. Should point over to 10.0.2.174 with which, if I knew nothing else about it, should describe that pod right there. 10.0.2.174 is the backend pod for this service. So now, when I go in here, I should be able to go to MySQL service. So watch this right here, because everything in Kubernetes should be able to talk to everything else, guys, without having to worry about names. Well, within a namespace, you should be able to just, like, I should be able to say, as long as I knew Rob was still in here, I should be able to say, oh yeah, and now, hey Rob, and then Rob would know that I was talking to him. Well, inside of the system here, I should be able to say MySQL and talk directly to this service, which is the MySQL service, right? Wait, hold on. Can't connect to local through that socket. MySQL. Oh, sorry guys, it's SQL. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Should be I guess maybe it is MySQL. Maybe I'm missing something. And Robodom's letting you guys know about other stuff that's going on, so it's always good. What am I missing here? I'm stealing stuff from myself, but I'm forgetting. MySQL. Oh! I gotta give it. It's dumb. I'm dumb sometimes, guys. U should be that. -U, or -H should be that, and then the -U will be root because we're the root user, and the P that we used happened to be this same very secure. I can change that later, and I can reinstantiate them, but for now I'm just going to stand it up. So this should now talk to the MySQL service correctly. Yeah, boom, there we go. And if I had loaded data up to it, I should very much be able to do just basic stuff like show databases, right? Something like that. And I only have the basic little databases that come with it because I haven't done anything else yet. You guys didn't really see me do anything else interesting in here besides kind of set that up. And I say, okay, that's good. So now what I need to do is I'm going to be building some databases for me to read from Flask, right? That's going to kind of come. Yeah, no, Boris, you didn't really miss much. I'm not working too hard. I'm going through. Oh, hold on. Let me fix that. I can see that I'm just barely blocking my. I think that's a little better. I think you guys should be able to see that just a little better. Okay. No, you didn't really miss much coming over here. I'm just kind of hanging out and again, not working too hard. All the stuff I'm showing here is from one of my labs in Killer Coda, and I have some presentations that kind of teach you guys how I do it. So don't think like, oh man, any knowledge is being lost. It's really just me kind of messing around right now. I'm not doing anything too crazy. So But I do definitely appreciate Rob coming over. Did we get a shout out to Rob Robodom? I don't know if you can do that for me, if you're around. This is a little bit of a spoiler because I'm working on something that's a real project that I'm doing. So this is a little bit of a spoiler. All right, so we'll do this. We'll get out of here. And suffice it to say that I'm losing this one, but that other one exists and is good. So I feel pretty comfortable about it. If we back up then real quick, do a kubectl get ns. We see all our namespaces. We've got the default and the data one. And you know what? We're going to make a new one. We're going to kubectl create ns, and we're going to call this app. Let's just call it app and data. App and data are fine. And I think that's what I call them in here anyways. So let's go look at our code real quick just to make sure, you know, the code that I'm very shamelessly stealing this from. I think I call these are all, oh, my namespace is app1. So we'll just remember to pull that out when we go steal some of this from ourselves. So that's fair enough. All right. So I've got that. So kubectl get ns will show the app and data. Kubectl describe PV. Oh, sorry, I can just get PV and PVC in the namespace data shows those two my volumes over there. And then oh, Robodom, you could do it on the YouTube side if you're on, or sorry, on the Twitch side rather. If you're on the Twitch one, I think it's just shout out. Right? Oh, there it is. Thank you. I appreciate that, Robodom. I don't know why it doesn't show up in my little mini feed, but yeah, thanks for that. kubectl get pods data. All right, so that's good. There's a thing that I want to add to this that I'm just going to go ahead and add now before I go doing other things, and that's some of my security stuff. My security deals with my network policy to deny the app1 data to come in. So let's go ahead and we'll just do this right here. We'll, in MySQL data, this is fine, I guess, for us to do over here. We'll VI, actually, let's go up one. And we'll just make dir, let's call it network policy. Netpol. And in here, we're going to VI a network policy. And this one will be called network policy deny.yaml. Right? And in here, we're going to put this. And this is going to stop ingress. This is going to deny any ingress into data. Right? Data is the name of one of our networks. And actually, when we do this, kubectl create -f network policy, right? It's going to deny all traffic in then. That's fine, Robodom. That's fine. Yeah, Killa, I'm pretty good. I did just get off of my trip. I just got back yesterday. Me and the wife kind of relaxed last night. It was raining here in Phoenix. It's been raining part of today in Phoenix too, so kind of cooling off a little bit. But yeah, this is kind of my coming back stream a little bit. Let's go back to assets. And we need to do this other network policy to allow, except we're going to allow app, not app1. We're just going to get app and allow this in. So over here, I'm going to do kubectl. We're going to VI network policy allow app. And we're just going to say app.yaml because it's not app1 anymore. And we're going to drop all this in, and we're going to fix this by saying allow app and allow data because we're not using the one anymore. Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit wild. So ls kubectl create -f network policy allow.yaml. So if we were to look at our network policies real quick, so kubectl describe and netpol in the data namespace, we're doing two things, right? And the first one stops all traffic. No traffic is allowed in ever again. But then this one, and the namespaces in Kubernetes are kind of unique because the network policies are interesting, and they're very different from other things in that normally if we if we do network policies in access control lists, right, access control lists in Cisco devices, we do a top down, and it's the coin sorter problem. As soon as you meet a condition that you pass, you are out of execution and you're gone forever. So if I deny you on step 3, it doesn't matter if I would have allowed you in step 7, you're already out of the execution and you're done. And contrast that to like how we do identity and access management in like the cloud. If I ever deny you anywhere, I can never allow you ever again. But Kubernetes is different. I can have a blanket deny of everything because everything is taken together. They're all assimilated together, and I've denied all traffic to ever come into data ever again. But I can punch a hole in that by allowing anything from app namespace to be able to come in. So this is allow app to come in on port 3306. So the only traffic, so we've blocked all ingress traffic, not egress, all ingress traffic, meaning that the only thing once I allow this in is 3306 from the app, anything in that app space, not app 1 anymore, but app space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to build out an application in my home Kubernetes that is going to function as a it's going to be Flask in Python. I'm going to build some of my own little Docker containers for it. I'm going to harden them, as it were. I'm going to deploy them in a secure fashion, and then they're going to become a little website for me. I don't do a lot with web, guys. I'm very terrible at web. But I can at least do the Kubernetes stuff to get this little website that I want stood up. So that's kind of what I'm doing, okay? In case anybody's kind of like wondering, like, what the heck's this guy doing? Well, we're not working too hard, but we're working on this stuff here. All right, so that's what we're doing. And Slow Mo J, thanks for the follow. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. I don't have, let me see, I don't have, the way I have the screen set up right now, I don't have any way to show you guys the Discord, but we got a little Discord if anybody wants to go hang out down there too. You guys are always welcome to go do that stuff. All right. Let me then come back here, and I will show you guys the last little bit of what I was going to do here. Actually has to do with I got to build my pods, so that'll be probably, I'm gonna make let's kind of call this ProLUG project for now, and we're gonna move MySQL data into ProLUG project. We're gonna move netpol into my ProLUG project, and we're gonna move website into my ProLUG project. That's fine. And actually, we might move website to just be app. Let's call it app. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. A little better. Did I put anything in app yet? No, nothing's been put in app yet. So that's going to be the next thing. We're going to build this little app out that I've got. We're going to use Python. We're going to allow Python to talk with... let's think about this. Hold on. Do I have Podman on here? Hold on. I do have Podman. And do I also have Docker on here? I don't have Docker. So we're using Podman, which is fine. I don't mind building stuff in Podman. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to build in this system a basic little front end, and we're going to be able to share out information here. And yeah, I'm just going to make a basic little web page for this stuff that I'm building. So that's kind of the goal. We're not working too hard. Robodom, are you off for the day? It seems like you're back home working, or since you're off of your other stuff. I have to imagine you're working or you're back home. Because you guys are an hour later now, right? So it's almost 8 for you. Yeah, it's almost 8 for you, so that's nice. Well, get some relaxing in. I don't want any of you guys working too hard around here. One other thing, I haven't looked at this in a while. Okay, so I am using all Rocky for all this stuff. I wasn't sure what I had built this on. But looks like I'm up on Rocky 9.4, so that's good. So all my Kubernetes are going to be all that. They're on version 1.2.8, which is fine. It's back port. It's back a little bit, but it's stable, so that's good. Trying to get resume and cover letter together. Start looking for front end dev job. Nice. Yeah, Robodom. I try to advise people, just always keep some feelers out there. Like I would keep it. Yeah, I would just keep looking. Like even if you're pretty happy where you're at, even if you're just like looking to get in eventually, I'd just keep some feelers out there, because there's always somebody looking for something, right? There's always some kind of work out there. Yeah, we got to get you in. We got to get you back in there. You have experience, Robodom. I know that. I know you've been getting in there, and I know you'd worked in at least one project, maybe a few, right? So yeah, we just need to get you that experience. So, all right. Let's see if I can't get this stuff fixed up the way that I want. Yeah, that's the goal. Get you in there, get that experience, and start making hopefully good money at it, right? Because there's good money to be made in that space. Even if you just work and get some skills, and then I have a fair number of friends that do contract work in some of those spaces, not all the spaces, but web's one of the ones where there's still some contract work to be had, for sure. All right, let's go. We've got our system. We know our general architecture of what I'm building. We know we have the MySQL backend part set up. I should be able to load data into that if I need to, and I can build a schema for the things that I want to be able to show or report. So that's good. Let's start to build out. Probably we'll start to build out a little bit of the web portion here of what I'm going to be doing. So I'll probably have to look some stuff up for that, but that's not going to be that big of a deal. I think that'll be fine. We'll get that app going, and then make sure that we can load and read data. We should be able to read data from our database. That'll be important for when we get into some of the other stuff that I'm going to want to show. So that'll be good. But give me a second. I'm sitting here thinking about stuff. Yeah, it's not the best time to be looking, but I mean, any time we can get in and find something that's out there. Yeah, there are people getting laid off. I think there's going to be some interesting markets tend to do interesting things. Some of you guys know this. Markets tend to do interesting things after presidential, after the what are they called? After the elections are done. A lot of times companies restrict before when there's uncertainty. Businesses always try to avoid risk. Yeah, they always try to avoid risk. That's what all businesses do. In fact, if you ever learn about the stock market, if you guys ever do anything with that, most everything you do is just trying to manage risk, because theoretically in a what we call a perfectly balanced market, you can never beat the risk average of the market anyways. So you just try to deal with whatever is there, So yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. But the point is, keep yourself and your skills sharp. That's what I'm always telling you guys. Keep yourself and your skills sharp, and you guys will be fine. You just got to keep working on this stuff. Sometimes you get let go, and then you just find somewhere else. You got to keep yourself, moving forward. All right, so let's go find step 3 text. Let's go look at what this is. So the next thing I really need to do is I'm going to steal from myself the PWD. Let's go to project. Let's build some containers. And my containers are going to be very shamefully stolen from myself. However, when I do them, I am going to, let's go look at our Docker files. This is my read Docker file, and this will have some of the things that I need. So let's go read. All right. vi docker file, and let's copy this in. Whoops. And there's a little bit of weirdness to this. So what I might do is escape :q, go back in there, and we'll set paste, and then hit I, and then no, it's still going to have the space in front of it. Fun fact, doesn't really matter that much. But let's right quit this, and then let's go back in real quick, and we want to look at a couple of things here. Let's see what happened. Nah, that's fine. We'll leave it. We need to go look up, just like we did here with the Python, or the MySQL versions, right? We need to look up the Python version. So Python version for Docker. And it should give us the Python official image, and we can go see what their stable images are. We don't need to take latest, guys. We never have to take latest, right? And we can be back a few versions typically too. But we don't have to stick back on 3.9 just because that's what I wrote in here, 3.9 Alpine. We could probably go to something like 3.14 Alpine, right? So 3.14, they've got some other subversions, it looks like, and maybe patched versions of some type. But maybe I want to avoid being that cutting edge, and maybe I just say I'll take Alpine 320. So that's fine. So 313 Alpine 320. I'm fine with this. Whoops. Let's just we'll type it. Whoops. Don't really need that. That's from Alpine 320. Now let's get out of here. That's fine. So we'll go Python right here, 3.14, and then we'll go dash Alpine. Actually, what was I? 3.13 here. 3.13 Alpine. Dash Alpine 3.19. That's probably fine. All right, all these other things are going to be fine. And we're going to have to build this from all this, so that's fine with me. Directory is from here. We're going to copy in the app, so that's fine. So, Docker file, good. Looks fine. We're going to test this here in a second. Make sure that we pull everything down the way that we need to. But we need to build a few other things. We need to get a requirements text. So our requirements text for this, I might actually need to update that as well. Let's go look here. So my requirements text, we look in access. So my read requirements were this. I might need to update this, but that's fine. We could probably get away with older versions for now. That'll be fine. And because a lot of this stuff is backwards compatible. So I'll keep that, and then I have my read requirements, and then I'm gonna need in here my actual read index will be down in the app, as will the, where's my read.py? Here's my actual app for this. Super straightforward, super simple, and it tells me that we're gonna pull in, we're gonna hit this on port 6000. I can actually use a different one if I want to, and I could also use a different cluster service. This will be fine for now. So in here, make dir app cd to app for now, vi read.py, and this is my code for that. Service is going to change to data instead of data1, and then the root password is still the same. And we can leave that as it is for now. So that's all going to be fine for now. We haven't changed any of that stuff. And you know what we can change for now? We're going to modify this here. And we're going to pull this actually in the container when we build it. So we will modify these here in a little bit to not use the hard-coded stuff. But this will be fine for now. Pull that, pull the index. And the other part of this I need to then go grab back in assets is the read.py, and then I need my my read underscore index, which is the same basic thing. So let's cat out Docker file real quick. Where does the yeah, it's fine. There we go. If I needed to check where all of those things belong, I could come back here to this app, and I can go look in my setup. Nope, not setup. Back one. Index.json, and I can go verify that that's where they're getting put. So for the read stuff right here, you guys should see read requirements is going in root Flask Docker. So the requirements goes directly here. It's just got to be relative to where I'm at, which is right here. And so requirements for read go in Flask read Docker. That's fine. The read.py goes in the same place, so it doesn't. There we go. And then our index goes. It goes in root Flask Docker templates. Root Flask read Docker template. Okay, goes in a templates file. Okay. So we got all the things, how I've been doing them in the lab. So index goes to templates. There. Goes there. So why is there, so where do I got app from? Where am I getting that concept of app from? Oh, that's where it's going in the file. Okay, that's in the file. Okay, I was wondering where the hell app came from. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm confusing myself, guys. That's not uncommon. All right. So, I got this. I've got that. I should be able to build this. So, in right here, if I do a podman, where's my command for it? I always forget these. That's why I always tell you guys I steal from myself. This should be actually one up in step 2 where we build this. X.md. So when we build our app, when I build my actual pod, Docker image build, but Podman's the same, so image -t flask. Let's just call this, we'll tag it as read Docker. So let's see if it'll build everything. See if it gets everything kind of where it needs it to go. And that's fine. Did not create subprocess. Run pip requirements while running to turn the headers for session. Okay, hold on. So we've got a problem with the SD bus interactive call authentication. Interactive authentication required. Permission denied. That's not good. So it looks like we can make that and then we could try to run it, but internally it looks like we're getting a runtime error. So user bin crun is not how we run in here. Where is it? It's I might have to configure Podman for this. See where I put that. Let's do more. You know what? That's not even in here. Let's go back here. go see, where is that actually? It's the cryo. So user bin cryo instead of user bin C run. This was how we originally set this all up. So I gotta figure out. Hey, Cyber Buffalo. Yeah, I'm back. I'm hanging out, not working too hard. I am trying to figure out where's Podman pick. Where's the default area? Where this is picking. So there's its network config. Out path, that's fine. Remote root value is where it's looking. Runtime value. Assignment runtime containers.conf. So where is that? No. What the hell is that? Where do we put that thing? I gotta figure out how to find I put my thinking cap on. That's my container runtime. It's cryo. Should have been cryo instead of C run. Oh, let's see. None of that crap. Runtime. All right. Well, we might be able to set it manually here. Let's go back up to our user, and let's see if we can do runtime equals user bin cryo. Yeah, user bin cryo. No systemd user session available. What? Oh, I am on a user. You can enable lingering with login CTL, enable linger, possibly his root. Alright, well, let's see if this is needed. This probably is a little bit of a stretch. We probably are breaking some rules by doing this, but let's go see. Oh, well, maybe? Oh, son of a... What's our problem here? Not define. Systemd. All right, so we're still breaking in cryo when we're trying to get this to work, and what we need to do is figure out. So flag provided but not defined, system DC group. So I might need to. There was a message here for runtime flags, and I might be able to give it a flag for. That seems like a lot of work. Runtime flag equals, and then the runtime flag that we want to use is runtime's right here. System DC group 1000? Maybe? Maybe, we'll see. Nope, nope. Still the same error. Flag provided but not defined 1000. So, code user share containers. Wait a minute. I should be able to read it. What is the Oh, that's all fine. That should be fine. Shouldn't be nothing busted in here. So we got C-run in there, so let's do this real quick. Let's take that, user share, just for fun, just for what we call colloquially shits and giggles. VI that, Shift G. Let's give it C-run. Oops, hold on. We give it that. We gotta give it that. Let's give it that real quick. Come user Scott cd to project, and then containers read bang podman. We actually don't need to give any of this anymore because we're going to see if it runs off the other one now. Build, you dumb bastard. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. So you guys have probably seen me troubleshoot more today than you normally see me do. But what I was doing, that was annoying. And I'm using old versions of packages, so I expect those to break all over the place. But what we were doing, oh, what? It's going to give us a little message about doing this. But now, when this is done, if I do podman images, I should have the read Docker, which is my latest, the one that I just built. But so the error, all I did, guys, I wasn't doing anything special. There wasn't anything magic here. I don't even do Kubernetes professionally, really. I mean, I got the certs a while back, but all I was doing was looking at the error. And the error was like, hey, buddy, you're trying to use, you're not getting to, look right here, when it was breaking, it was saying, hey, buddy, you're trying to use cryo, but you don't have the correct usage of the flag. But what had been happening earlier when I first was doing this a little while ago, I was seeing that it didn't have crun. So I was like, wait a minute, crun's on the system. We just don't normally use it from containers because we're using cryo for the Kubernetes component. So what I just did then was I left my user, because I can't do it as my user, and I went into this containers file, and I changed the engine runtime to allow me to use crun. Now this shouldn't break anything else. This shouldn't break anything else going on, but it should allow me, as it just did, to build. I gotta remember this path. Containers, right? In here, I went to read, and I have now I have a Docker file. I have a requirements file of what's going to get built into, that Docker, right? That's what's getting built in, because mostly because I need Flask in there, and I need PyMySQL so that I can read whatever I have in there. And then I have templates. It's like the simplest little index page ever. This is what's going to get updated here in a little bit when I start really digging into this and building this. I'm going to start updating my HTML. And again, guys, some of you know I claim no great expertise in front end. I'm colorblind. I'm terrible at laying things out. But I just want to get this little project I'm building done for the ProLUG. I've been putting it off for a couple years, and I need to finally do it. So I'm kind of building this up. Jafla over on the YouTube side, the book command unfortunately only works on the Twitch side. Yeah, Robodom, that's fair. But what you guys will see is I've got a simple little site that I've stood up over here, and it's actually pointed directly into the lab environment to some Kubernetes stuff, and I can work on this page. But before I update the front end page, I'm also going to have a back end for us to read things, right? So I've got the ability for all that stuff there as well. So Ranger's down there doing stuff. If you're lucky, you might catch the wife in the reflection down here if she's working in the kitchen, because I tell her not to go over here, but I don't think she realizes that this thing shows her over on the other side over there. But maybe. We don't have a lot of users in the home lab right now. I'm kind of surprised. I'm more used to seeing users up here. So, West Text Jeff, thanks for the follow. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. You guys are welcome to hang out and do whatever, in Discord. Everything down in Discord's free. You guys can do whatever you want in there. The only thing that costs anything, Robodom just posted the book. People that like the book, that's like if you're doing labs and stuff. I haven't been focusing heavily on the labs lately, right? The labs are more getting your hands on the keyboard. I've been doing a lot more of our Linux systems administration stuff, which is more of looking at how this works within a company context, right? Like getting this stuff to work in that way. So, all right, I'm gonna start digging into this here shortly, but real quick, I'm gonna take a break real quick, and I'll put you guys on. How do you guys feel about being on intermission? Here's intermission. You guys can practice your loops. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. Make you guys a deal. Because we are hanging out. Let me go find my actual normal streaming default. Let's go fix my color for my lab. Hold on. Primary video, filters, edit filter, color key, hide, boom, and with that I can actually throw this up. Boom, I'm back, but I didn't want to put my little green screen up, so you guys are just gonna have to look in my room like we used to always do. But I'm back, I'm hanging out, I'm drinking water, and you guys are looking at the same screen I was looking at earlier. I guess you lost some of the little stuff that was just up there messing around, but yeah, I'm here. What am I doing though? I've got the lab. Okay, this part's, I'm pulling it together slow, guys. I'm not working too hard right now. That's kind of the goal. Do I have kubectl get pods in the default? And then that's a default deployment. Okay. Let's get rid of this kubectl delete pod busybox 2. Let's get rid of him. We don't need him anymore. All right. But real quick, now that I'm back on this view, and I'm a lot less limited when I do this type of view. But let me pull this up here for you guys. We had some people talking. People are looking for work. We always try to have some good talks down here in the jobs and interview stuff. So I know there's people that are looking to get in the field. I know people are looking to correct their resumes and get help on that. And there's people down in here that are pretty helpful, and I think they're asking good questions and talking some useful stuff. Again, you guys are welcome to come in here. Anybody that hops in here, the bot welcomes you. So we've had a good amount of people today. My goal mainly is just to get more people down in the Discord, tell you guys about what's going on down there. Once you're in there, we've got a little beginner start here section. There's some early YouTube stuff that you guys can be doing. There's some certs that you can go get for free. Like, free is the best price, especially if you're not working. And then there's our Linux Systems Administration course. That's completely free. We're about halfway through it right now. And everything's run out of ProLUG projects. So if you were trying to catch up, you would go into ProLUG projects, you would scroll up, and you would start back in Unit 1. So here's all the Unit 1 discussion stuff. I've got 19 servers stood up, and then it tells you how to get in there if you go read the original ProLUG syllabus, right? There's some information on how to get in there, and then you just need to get the password. Typically, people pass that password around. I was changing it every week, but I don't think we have so many people that we can't just leave it active. You get dropped in there into our actual live lab environment, and you can do anything you want in there, just like you're over here inside of one of our nodes, right? You can go to any of our servers. Let's just go, right? Like, you can see our labs, they're all set up. You could start to carve up the disks and do the different work, because in the different labs, I have a bunch of questions for you to answer. I have a bunch of worksheets. It's I think I average it to about 8 hours a week of work over the course of 16 weeks. So if you want to go do some hard work that will potentially change you from being just a hobbyist into maybe doing the stuff professionally, that's what the goal of, that's the goal of our group. But the Linux Systems Administration is also designed to help you be a professional at this stuff. Everything we've done in there, with the exception, there's one exception, we did not capture one of our guest speakers one time. Everything else that's in that lab, if you just wanted to go and walk through it, is here in this playlist. So there's a YouTube playlist, and this, we're not going to go watch my videos right now, but Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're all recorded. I streamed 7 and 8 the same day because I was leaving to Hawaii, so I missed yesterday. But it's all in there. No, Robodom, sendings didn't even happen, man. Like, something broke look at this, guys. This is super annoying. I don't know if I showed you guys this. I know I've alluded to it a few times, but this used to have 207 people coming to it. I think we hit 208 actually. And then when I was in Hawaii, I don't know what happened. I opened it up on my phone app, and it was empty. And then it had 0 people right here. And I was like, what the hell? It was like something in Discord that like wiped it and it set it all up with all the right time series events. Like showed them all the way out through the end of December. But it was empty. And I actually had to click interested to be number 1 interested. Normally when you make an event, you're the first one. You're always interested in a new event. I really don't know what it was, but you can see inside of the app if you're an admin in a server, you can go look at all the actions that were taken, and nobody from the server, nobody that had the power to do it, did anything to that app at that time. You can see when things are created, you can see when they're destroyed. Something just went bloop and just reset the fucking the invite. So then, well, where I'm going with this is normally people would get alerted that Sending Grounds was going to talk yesterday at the normal time, even though I was out of town. Nobody got alerted. He had one person show up because there was nobody was alerted, so that sucks. I'll get Sending to come back. Obviously, most of our engineers' time is pretty valuable. Like somebody's in there doing SC Linux stuff, so that's good. If you finish all of the labs, if you do everything and finish on time with everybody else, which again, admittedly, is a lot of work, you will there's a little certificate that I'm giving out at the end. There's not too many people that are going to get it, but it's going to look kind of like this if anybody wants to see. Streaming images. I'd guess right now there's only probably 5 or less people that are on track to get this. I'm going to release the blue version of this, so I'm going to show you guys the orange version. This is what it looks like as an orange version. And it'll be, what the fuck is that? Get out of here. That's what it'll look like, but it'll have instead of Thomas Edison, it'll be my signature, and then you'll have a little verify link that'll always come back to our site and have a little verify. We actually have a program one of the guys already wrote for this to pass that through. It's like a little Go, and then I'm just going to put it into my Kubernetes and be able to link it off of the main page. So anybody wants to come in and verify that you are who you say you are, boom, and it'll say that you finished the ProLUG course. These will be, valuable to the people who did them because of the fact of it's one of these things where you will honor the degree, not the degree. The degree doesn't honor you. The title doesn't honor you. You honor the title. And what that means is ProLUG might not mean anything to anybody in the industry, but it'll mean something to you, and anybody that knows you will know that you put all this work in. And then eventually over time, because of the scarcity of it and because of the skill of the people who actually bothered to do it, like good certs, it will mean something, right? People get certs all the time, but they don't really know anything, and then that to me doesn't show a failure of the cert. Well, it kind of does, but the person either adds value to the the title. The title doesn't add value to the person, if that makes sense. Meaning, if you still can't do the work, it doesn't matter what your fucking title is, right? Same thing here. Like, we're going to give that out to people who actually did the work and learned something. So, anyways, I don't know where I'm going with that, but let's get back over here. We've got that going. That's the game in the background. That's just our basic little stuff there. All right, so we've built. Hold on, let's come back over here. We have built a Podman. P.S. Nothing's running. Podman images has our image here, local of read Docker. So that's here. We can call that from Kubernetes. However, there will be a limitation there of what nodes can see it. I might have to stand up my own little, I guess I can stand up a repository internally. That's not super hard to do. So I'll stand up a little repo in here so that any of the different pods, so I have 3 nodes. Any of the nodes should be able to call back and read that, not just pod 1 or a prod K8's 1, as it were. All right. So where are we at here then? We've got all that. Let's go look at, real quick here. Let's go look at the syllabus. So what are we doing for 9? Oh, so Docker. So this is going to be. So this is going to actually be part of the lab for 9 then. Docker and K3 setup and basics. So we're going to actually set up some basic stuff for Kubernetes in the lab. And one of them will be pretty much that little Docker component that I just set up. Well, I used Podman for it. But you have to have in the environment, you have to have the runtime. I think the wife might have just walked by. I heard her. She's up here somewhere. She's not far. I can always hear her walking around. Wifey, are you by me? Yeah, I don't know where wifey is. She's somewhere. Hold on. I gotta see if she's downstairs by Ranger. Ranger's looking around. I mean, she might be down there, but I can see her in the glass mirror. In the glass on the back door, I can see if she's over in the kitchen. Ranger's yawning because he's had a hard day of doing nothing. Oh wait, to be fair, he got in a vehicle once and then came home. And then he got out of the vehicle. That's all he did today. There's the wife. I can see her. You guys see her? She's right there. She's meal prepping. She's got her hair up too. It's always a good sign when she's got her hair up. So I'll get myself in trouble. She's down there. Ranger's moving around because he sees the wife and he probably smells some kind of chicken or something like that. I think she's making chicken something. She's prepping food, so there's good food for tomorrow. All Ranger, getting up slow because you're old. All right. Enough of that. What are you doing, Ranger? Giving you guys a close like view. There he is. Okay, he's plopped down. There's the wife back there. I see her. See her reaching down for something. Where is she? There she is. All right. Anyways, all right. We'll stop spying on the wife. I told her though. I'm like, if you're down there and the camera's on, you can't be mad. All right, but we got to set up Docker for the next part of the lab. So I'll do some of that while we're hanging out here. Right. Again, as with all things, we don't have to work super hard. ProLUG presentations. We go up one. It's actually Linux Systems Admin course. We'll make 8 copied into 9. Right. And then we'll call this 9. Boom. And then we'll go in there and change this to week 9. And the worksheet, well, I guess we don't really have anywhere to go with the worksheet except making it 9. We don't have anything to do with that except making it 9. So we'll make that 9 as well. And then the one thing that we would normally do with the lab is we would bring something else over, but this is a brand new lab, so I'm just going to have to write the lab from scratch, which means that I do got to start working on it a little earlier because I don't have any older labs to work with on this one. So let's go in here, let's look in Linux Systems Administration, and let's change this to 9. Let's go to our announcements. This will be 9th class meeting. Man, this sucks so bad. I don't even know what to say anymore with this. Just say turn them all in at once. I swear, man. You try to do something nice for people and then Discord just fucks it all up. Super annoying. Super unhappy about that. Alright, we're going to make this week into last week. Because that's what we did last week. And then this week will be Unit 9. We normally only do 3 discussion posts, so I'll clean this up so it's Unit 9. And also, since Unit 9 is kind of the Unit 1 of the second half, if you want to think of it like that, it's the start of the second half. What we'll probably do is let's say project check. How are you doing? Do you have at least an outline by now? Right? So this is my thing. How are you doing? Do you at least have an outline by now? Because if we get to next Saturday and you don't even have like a project outline and we're halfway through the class, halfway through the thing, you're probably going to be hurting to get it all done in time, right? Because the project's pretty long. I don't know if any of you guys want to review the project, if you want to see what the project I have everybody doing that's doing the Linux systems administration, but I'll show it if you want. It's a bit challenging, right? It's going to have some stuff to it. We got to change these questions. They will be related to... First question will probably be... let's make the first one about doing the work, and then the second one will be about like troubleshooting. So let's say troubleshooting. So we'll give a question in there about something wrong with a pod or a container, kind of like what I was just doing. If you guys were watching me work earlier, and I was given, or well, I was building out a pod, and I did get it to build, but my system that I had never built one on before had something wrong with it. And what did it have wrong with it? Well, hold on, let's go look. It was this runtime, right? The runtime, there was no runtime that would work with Podman to build this system. I was getting these weird errors. So this was the actual build that worked. Did the install, did everything that I needed to. But up here, I was getting these weird errors. Every time I'd do this, I'd get these weird errors. And I just went and I started digging into like what the error was telling me. Right up here, it said, hey buddy, you're trying to run cryo, right, in the OCI container runtimes, and it's busted. Something's wrong with what you're trying to do. Specifically, as you call, you're giving some kind of incorrect flag. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to go read the man pages, which I did a little bit. Didn't find anything. I tried a couple commands, kind of thinking about the runtime flags that it mentioned and some other stuff. And I said, you know what? Now F that. I'm just going to skip it, because I know that before it was using cryo, it wanted to use crun, right? I had read that. That's how I knew that, not because I just knew that from some magical reason. So then I said, okay, user bin cryo, we tried you. Instead of me just bashing my head on you for 10 minutes, I'm going to go around and try to use crun. So I configured crun to run, and the way I did that was I read what the thing was telling me was an error, and I read that it said it couldn't read the containers file, right? That's what we were seeing right here, somewhere in there when I was reading about it. So I said, all right, screw you. I'm just going to go and configure that containers file, and that's what we did, and then we got it all to run. So it built that. Here's where we changed it in user share containers.conf. We modified this right here. So we had an engine runtime that we could at least build inside of the crun container, and then we built it. So now we have a working container in our system that we can go back to using Kubernetes to deploy, right? And that's kind of the crux of what we're doing here. All right, so by the way, I can smell the wife cooking down there, so that's always good. But for you guys in the lab over here, I need to do a couple of things in these Rocky boxes. Whoops, my hand in the right place. Let's check. Do I have Podman? I don't. Do I have Docker? I don't. So that's no good. Also, if I do a df-h, I see that I got labs, opt, and home. And labs, if I do a mount grep for labs, I see that labs is read-write. So meaning that you guys can read and write and build inside of labs. So that's good. So what we'll do in the lab here is I'm going to make a directory in labs. Actually, maybe I'll make you guys make your own directory in labs. That'll be good. CD labs, right? And then now I'm going to tell you guys to make a directory in here called like, let's call it, actually let's call this mkdir lab 9, right? And then you guys can go into lab 9, and then you'll just make yourself a container file. Maybe I'll make a base file. So, yeah. Maybe I'll copy. So in here, mkdir base lab. Let me think how I want to do this. I kind of want to make the labs read only for you guys. So then you can just read the lab stuff, but then you can go put it in home. Let me think. How do I want to do this? I gotta think about this, guys. How do I want to do this? I guess I can do labs and lab work. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Let's do this. So in my cluster, everything that we're sharing out is being shared out from one node called he's our werewolf node. And we're going to go add. So we've got labs, but now we're going to do like lab_work. So let's do this real quick. Clear this up. Where do we configure that? So we cat out real quick etc werewolf D. And in the conf for werewolf D, look guys, this one of my favorite things is that like I don't have to know a lot of stuff, guys. You may think I know a lot of stuff, but I assure you, much like with my college students, I only know 1 week more than you. Well, no, I know a little more than that. But what I'm saying is like I've been doing it for a while there. But with you guys, I mean, look, I'd be willing to bet most of you very quickly just by looking at this. This is the werewolf config. If I told you werewolf was what controlled the NFS, I bet you'd go, I know what he's about to do. And you'd be exactly right. The first thing I'm going to do is, well, there's two things I'm going to do before what you know I'm about to do. I'm going to do an ls-ld on labs real quick, just to make sure that it looks like what I expect. Okay, good. It's 755 for root in labs. Fair. And then I'm going to make dir labs. Let's call it lab work. Okay. And now I've got lab work. So now you got to remember that we got to hold one little piece of information in our brain. We have like 7 places according to my old college. Etsy werewolf, you know, I remember psychology in college, you have like 6 memory registers. I'm like, yeah, that's probably fair. Short-term memory registers. All right, I'm going to come here and I'm going to do something real sneaky. I'm going to say Y for Y. Y for Y. I just yanked 4 lines and I'm going to hit P to do that. And then I'm going to say lab work. And when I do that, I'm going to change labs to read only. So now nobody can change what's in labs anymore. And lab work will be read write. There will be no root squash. Make sure. That's what we want. There will be root squash here, so I'm going to take that off. So that's how we want this. No root squash. Yeah, so root squash is there. Mount option default, true, default. This is read write and no root squash. Perfect. And then systemd NFS server, that's all fine. It's done. That's it. We updated the lab. Now, werewolf is not sharing that out until we do a wwctl configure. And when you do a wwctl configure, it'll say, well, what do you want to configure, buddy? And you can always use --all or -a. But in this case, I only changed NFS, so I can say, you know what? I just want to configure NFS. And it's going to rebuild the overlay for werewolf hosts and enable the restarting of the NFS services. So I'm actually curious. I haven't seen this behavior before. Let's go to a node right over here and say df-h. And do I have that? I do not have that. So I say no. Okay. Well, let's reboot. Reboot the node. That's fine. He's dead. So then we can just boot. Watch this. We just watch the system come up, right? Because that's fun. We always like watching our nodes come up. And we're just going to watch him boot, and then we're going to go into him and see, does he have that change that we just made in our lab? Is labs read only, as it should be now? And then is lab_work there, where I can direct you guys to go do all your lab work? And I'll tell you, just do lab work and copy. So you'll copy in from labs to your own directory in there. Boom, copy the stuff over and do your work. So that'll be, let's watch him boot. You'll notice all of my nodes. He's going to have the right name right there, Rocky9. But see how he's off of the new image that we built earlier today, 03 November, 24. So I built that earlier today to update the systems to a new kernel and all that kind of stuff. But the crux of what we care about is, does he have, if I do an export FS on this box, does he have lab work now when he comes back up? Which he should. Well, let's think. We built that. We didn't do any overlay stuff. Yeah, it should come up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is just curiosity of mine. If he doesn't have it, we could rebuild all the overlays and then reboot him again and make sure he has it. But we're testing on one node, and then we're probably gonna have to go reboot all the other nodes too. So this is this is things that we do. This is how we figure out how to do things. That's how we go and break stuff down. Let's see what we got over here. Hold on. All right. Node's coming up over here. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to get a node to come back up. You know, we got 19 nodes in the environment that you guys can use. They are running SE Linux. That was for a specific lab where I wanted to show you guys around SE Linux. That's security enabled Linux, right? Which is really just more labels on top of labels. We just have labels on top of labels on top, just labels all the way down, really. That's all it is. We've talked about that quite a bit. I've showed you guys how the SE Linux works. All right. Let's see where our time's at here. Yeah, policy CLI, sure. All right. Oh, we got dependency failed for mount. That's interesting. All right, let's go see if there's something in here that helps us. df-h. Oh well, so we only have labs. We don't have the other part. So what we need to do is wctl overlay build. Let's overlay build for Rocky 9. Let's rebuild his overlay. And then sh back to him and reboot. All right, so we'll let him reboot. We'll kick him over again. We're definitely exporting that. We're definitely doing all that. This will be an interesting behavior. I don't know. Yeah, set and force. We'll let him boot over and then we'll check on him. All right, but for people that are doing the course, one, it's free if you're interested in doing it. We're not charging anybody for it. Worst thing ever was we had 207 people doing it, well, or saying they were doing it, and then the fucking Discord wiped it. It makes me so mad. So nobody's getting alerts on it, but you can still keep working on it. People that were serious about it, I think, still know about it. But anybody else that wants to join, it is free. It is pretty, I think, up to date as far as what we're working on. What's going on here? We hit an auto log out. Hold on, I gotta let's watch that. Hopefully that doesn't kick me out again. And then, all right, we'll give that a second to boot up. Hopefully, with his overlay correct. By the way, if that was the case, if that was what was needed, we could just do overlay build for everything in the cluster right here. Like, it doesn't really harm us much. It doesn't really take much cycles for the system to just rebuild all the overlays. It doesn't hurt much from a standpoint. It just overwrites what's there. But if we do like a df-h, it doesn't really use up much. So df-h var lib werewolf. Werewolf is coming off of the root of the system. We're only 31% used, so we have 66 gigs available still in the root home of this OS. So that's interesting that it's giving us the mounting and that we're running the old daemon. That doesn't seem like that would be the case. That's interesting. There's an interesting error right there on a node that's coming from a container. So we'll go dig in. If it doesn't mount this time, we're going to go dig in and see, is it defined as one of the mounts? So we'll see it as a failed, right here in a second. We would see it as a failed mount, and then we can go configure or look at why it failed. So this is getting into like something I tell you guys often when I'm building servers and I'm building things that work a certain way. I want to be able to kind of rapidly move through and test what I'm seeing versus what I expect. I didn't know what to expect for the behavior of this, but now I have something to dig in on here for why. Like I'm seeing here this message that doesn't make sense coming off of a brand new kernel out of a environment that just booted. So we're gonna see, did it not properly mount? Did it start? Yeah, look, there's still an error. All right, let's go look. It is there. Lab work is there, so that's good. Systemctl. I'll show you guys a little trick that I love. When I build servers, right, and I bring them up, or if I'm looking at your servers, like let's say you bring me into a company to optimize some of our server builds. Like we need to make these run a little more efficiently. We think that we're burning too many cycles on other things that aren't really being efficient. So we think that we could fit some more, we could squeeze some more out of this older hardware if we would just limit these servers down. That's one of the things I do. I optimize servers, right? In that, like there's all these other processes running, but I'll show you one. List units, this is one of my favorites. State equals failed. Well, what broke when the server came up? Nothing in this case. Some of my servers, when I do this, all kinds of shit's broken because it's in my home lab and that happens. But what I'm trying to show you here is systemctl lists units that are in a state of failed are services that did not come up properly when the system came up. I have two options. Like as an engineer, so as an admin, you could probably ignore that as an admin. Like if you know the server's running on the admin side of things, you're cool. Your operational uptime is there. Your stuff is good. It's running. But on an engineering side of things, as the guy who builds the servers, and I'm the one whose name is like tagged to these servers forever, I will not leave something like that. I will fix it. There are two options. It can be turned off as a service or it can be fixed. I don't leave things busted here. Oh, well, I do all the time in my home lab, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying professionally, I fix whatever's busted so that this is clean, because there's a certain professionalism to, like if I detailed your car out and your car was all nice and detailed, but then when somebody sat in the back seat, they're like, "Ooh, what is this?" And then they like pull up like a dirty rag that I left back there. You'd be like, "Man, that guy, his one job was to clean up my truck and he couldn't even do that." That's kind of how I feel like this. Like from a server standpoint, my one job is to build clean servers that start correctly. Again, systems admin side of things, we don't have to worry about everything being clean. We got to worry about it working, right? There's a little bit of a a little bit of a shake to your steering wheel or something when you drive home. You're like, I'll let the mechanic worry about it tomorrow. That's more the sysadmin side. They just care about the things still being on the road. But the engineer side of things, I absolutely care how clean my environment is. Well, anyways, it looks good. Let's do a question real quick of mount grep-I for lab. So, let's grep-I for lab and grep 425 as well. Here's our two. Lab work, read write. Labs is read write as well, so I did not fix that. Hold on. Well, that's weird because he thinks it's read-write in labs. But let's go check if it's actually read-write. Let's cd to lab. Because look, if that server is saying it's not, then it should not be. So if I go here and I touch test file, yeah, it's a read-only file system. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. And you say, why would you really want that? Well, because everybody that can come into our labs can get into Rocky 1 through Rocky 19. Those are the labs they can get in, right? But any of you guys so for me, I can come back out here and I can give you the permissions.
Sound of artillery?
Root guy, thanks for coming. Artillery is the king of battle. That's fair. That is their title. And the infantry is the queen of battle. That is also true. However, most people know this. The queen of battle refers to the chest piece of the queen, which is no longer speaking of like a weak queen. However, it's more of the queen of battle refers to it being the most mobile thing. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, actually, that reminds me of one of my favorite jokes. The guy gets pulled over and he starts to get a ticket. The state trooper starts to write a ticket for him, and he says, "Yeah, here, I'll give you a little extra for the state trooper ball." And then the state trooper goes, "State troopers don't have any balls." And he's like, I know. And then the guy just puts away his, whatever. I don't know. I'm not very good at the jokes, but that one's funny to me because he gets them to say that they don't have any balls. All right. Anyways, actually, I do have a fun joke that reminds me of that, but it doesn't really matter either. Let's go with, hold on. Got all this. That's right. Okay. Let's check any one other node, and I'm going to say that they're not up, they're not up to date as well. Yeah. So what we need to do then is go to Ansible, and we're just going to reboot everything in the cluster again real quick. Before I do that, -A and just do a W and see who's on, see how many users are on, because some users might be doing something. I rebooted everything and users didn't get back in yet, so there's no users on the cluster right now. That's fine. A lot of times I will do I'll echo something to wall, like echo systems going down in 5 min or something like that to wall. And when I do that, that'll send to wall in all the systems, meaning it'll push out to all the systems. Boom. And then I can, by the way, it doesn't go to the console, so you don't see it at the console unless I was logged in as a normal user. And then I can come back here and go -M reboot, and we can then watch, so that I don't have to wait. I can just say sleep, let's say 280. That's a little less than 5 minutes. And when that's done, that's going to go reboot all the nodes in the cluster, right? So, cluster's cleaned up. It's got all the right stuff. We've done the overlay builds. That's a very important part of it. Make sure the overlay builds are right. And what we could do then is go and keep thinking about this. So this week we'll make some posts, some discussion posts, and then the topics of our program for this week are, of course, the Dockers and K3s setup. So Docker and K3s setup. Right, that's Kubernetes Lite, really. And then what else are we doing this week? So we've hit triage, we've hit a lot of those other things. I got to kind of put together an outline because I have pulled this up before for you guys. This was what I was doing earlier. I have pulled this up for you guys before, but I don't know where I have it. That's a different one. That's a different one. Different. Socratic answers. Most of you guys know that. You know that. Manifest lab. No, it's none of these things. I gotta get my notes better. If you guys haven't noticed, at least my stuff in the home lab, I don't really work. I've never played with LinPs. One of you guys told me about this, I think. Alright, well, whatever. Alright, GPU nodes, security stuff, none of that. We had some there were some notes that I know we put together. Oh, you know what? We might throw it on the Discord. Sometimes I throw notes in Discord. So let's go look here for our meeting notes. Meeting notes. Let's go look. Let's see if we did this. I thought we wrote this down somewhere. I think this is actually it, but it's just not in a good hierarchy. So I think I have this real quick back over here. So what is that day? So this was August 17th. So when we do meetings, right, in our Linux group, I do always throw them in our... Nope. I have them in agendas. So I think the 17th was the last one that was like this. Ah, see, I did throw them in here. So these were things that I had talked about from like a technology standpoint that I wanted to show. That's not going to help me because there's nothing sysadmin related there. So I need to think about what I've been trying to do. Is there's all these technical things here that you guys can see, and then I'm trying to also pepper in just, you know, reading from your... Well, that might be a good one. No. I try to get you to... You like stuff around like working in the engineering field and working in administration and like the things that you're going to run into. So I've been trying to show that a little more. Let me get this stuff out of the way. That's over the talking. I'm gonna have to give this some thought because I don't have a good plan for this yet. Obviously the technical side of things we can build pretty quickly, but I want to get you guys into doing the other stuff. So okay, that's interesting. Is that actually going behind my video? That hasn't happened in a long time. I didn't think that thing went out that far. Alright. What else are we doing? Anybody here working on anything good? Yeah, Robodom the CC was going behind my little video there. That doesn't normally happen. But let me think. We've got... Yeah, this week we'll just keep working on cleaning this stuff up, getting ready for the next week. I will be probably doing some co-working sessions this week and maybe even doing some night sessions. We'll be back on the normal stuff because the wife's in town, so I'll be back on normal Friday nights doing date night. I'm trying to compile some kernel modules for SR-IOV support that haven't been merged into the mainline kernel. Oh, nice, Q. That sounds like fun. SR-IOV, I'm trying to think what that is. I've definitely seen that before, but I'm not sure. Why can I not think of what that is? How's it going, Sing? Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We're not working too hard. We're just kind of hanging out. And got a couple raids. I think we got a raid from RWX Rob earlier. So, GPU Nick. Yeah, nice. Nice. Virtualization pass-through. Nice. Yeah, I don't know if... I think I've mentioned it to you guys. I've alluded to it a little bit. But next month, so probably late December, early January, I'm going to start working on a cluster here that is like... It's gonna be like 1 or 2 in the world when it debuts on the top 500. It's gonna be fast. I'm trying to split up my Intel iGPU to 7 virtual GPUs to distribute across VMs. Nice. Yeah, Q. Let me know how that works because I've never run a virtual GPU. Hey Rossberger, how's it going? You probably haven't seen me in your streams for a week, Rossberger, because I was out in Hawaii. I just got back yesterday. Me and the wife left last Sunday, and I had to go out there and train some people on a big high-performance compute system that I built for a big... It's a government project, but it's also a research project. So it was good. It was good. We had... Here, I'll show you guys some fun things. I didn't post all the photos up here yet, but I have some of the photos in here in our Discord. Hold on. So, where is it? Food. Let's see, I think I have some food. This is the most expensive trip I've never... I told the wife, like, she's officially the most expensive date, because we went to this place called Mama's Fish House on the island of Maui. We were all on Maui for their high performance stuff. And before tip, it was $288. I've never spent that much on food in my life. I don't even know if I've spent that much on groceries in my life. And then with tip, it was $388. So it was kind of wild. But then Also, like, I don't drink, but the wife got me to drink a couple, so I had a couple of rum and cokes, which used to be one of my poisons of choice. And then if we go up here, I was, oh look, this was me going for like my first day of school. Like the wife had me all packed up and ready to go. I don't know how many of you guys saw this, but I also wore a whole bunch of new shirts because they looked good, and then the wife got me smiling there. So there's that, right? There's that. Oh yeah, it was all so Diamond. It was actually paid for the government to Dell to my company to me. Yeah, it was all paid for. The wife wasn't paid for, but she got to just stay in my hotel room with me. But the boss even told me, he's like, you should definitely. Oh, this was annoying. I don't know if you guys have ever been on a flight. We were A7 and 8. We were the 7th and 8th people that should have been on the flight, but they let 50 people on before us. They're like, if you've got kids, if you don't have kids, if you've ever been in the military, and I was like, hey, I was in the military, and they're like, you're already on A7 and 8. So like this was me taking a picture as we got on, just so we could see how many people had got on ahead of us. It was wild, man. And we were doing Southwest, so it's like you pick your thing. But the wife knows I like to just no, I didn't do Hawaiian Airlines Road. No, I just did Southwest. I got a one way, like a not one way, but a nonstop, right? Because it's wild to me. I live in Phoenix, and they're like, hey, we'll fly you all the way back over to Texas and then over there, and it'll take us 13 hours to get there. I'm like, the F we will. Let's fly straight there for 6.5 hours, and that's what we ended up doing both ways. All right, hold on. So that was me getting all ready, and then some of the guys for stuff. I got me and Julie. These were nice little like bamboo pens that we got at one of the little stations, so that was kind of cool. Scott and Julie. I normally just call her wifey on stream, but I think most of you guys know what her name is. And then this was I only wanted to show the one side of it, but this was my laptop, and then I had my little monitor that I use on my Blue Yeti mic. That's kind of nice for when I do. I was training to a room of, there were anywhere between 1 and 10 people in the room, and then about 5 people on the call as well. They were back in Ohio even, so they were like 3 hours difference, or 6 hours difference from us, so it was kind of wild. And then what was going on there? Hold on, I got other pictures too. Sports and outdoors. So this is what the trip kind of looked like. That's Robodom stuff. This was us landing. As you know, I hadn't been to Hawaii before, so this was my first time on Maui. This was the parking garage. Yeah, this was nice, right? And then this is the wild thing. I'm kind of a cynical guy, so this is kind of funny to me. When we get here, this is the parking garage, which was beautiful, by the way. Look at the ocean, sun was setting, beautiful. This was our room, that's actually the parking garage right there. Beautiful, right? Yeah, Diamond, that's where the tax money goes. Yeah. But this was the thing. This was wild to me. We paid a bunch of money, even though, it was at a government. I'm a federal contractor technically for NOAA, National Oceanographic Atmospheric Agency. That's not what this project was for. This was for something else. But check this out. This is funny. You can hear the waves crashing from here, right? Perfect. That's why we got the ocean view. Ocean view and island view were the same cost, so we got the ocean view. But I just want to tell you guys something. There's all this water stuff here. Cool. People want to go out and do water stuff. Kids everywhere. Fun, whatever. They have like a waterfall right here that's probably about 2.5 stories tall. And from here, you can hear the waterfall way more than you can hear the ocean. Yeah. So me and the wife were like, well, like what? Like everybody wants to come listen to the ocean, don't we? Yeah. Hope you use the balcony. Yeah. Like I would want to hear the ocean. I wouldn't want to hear the waterfall. But look, it was a nice little beach resort. We went over. There was a little turtle that crawled up, and when I say little, I mean this thing was like 4 feet long. It was a pretty big sized turtle. I don't think I could have picked this thing up. It looked like a little boulder, and it was just hanging out on the beach for like a day, and it hung out over there. There was a little restaurant over here that the wife and I went to, and then there was a little walk-up bar. And I was telling you guys about the walk-up bar. Food is expensive in Hawaii. We were staying in Lahaina, by the way, so we were right past where it had all burned. And that wasn't really a consideration, but we were up there, and then I drove into the island every day, about 35-minute drive to where our high-performance compute center was. But we went over one day, and guys, look, we walked up to the bar, and we got a large pizza for me and the wife, and like a quesadilla, chicken quesadilla. We were like, let's see how much this is. It was $72. And I was like, 72. Oh gosh, I'm glad we didn't have any kids here we had to feed or anything. But it was 72 for a large pepperoni pizza and chicken quesadilla, which we had more left over, so it was fine. It was 2 meals. It was like $36 a meal, so it wasn't too bad. But it was fun. Wait, do I have any more here? No, that's back to that. And then I'll show you guys kind of. This was this place called Mama's Fish House, and this was super super beautiful. Mama's Fish House was the one that was $288, which is only notable to me because that's pretty expensive. So there we go. That was kind of our things. I have some other pictures. I'll post them up in there in the Discord and stuff as well. But we can keep working on that. What's motivation behind placing HPC in Hawaii? Q, I'm not exactly sure. Like it's funny for what I've done on that system and how much I've built on it. I have no idea what they're going to do with it. I really don't. I know that it's got a lot of government customers that feed off of it, but that's true of almost all the work that I do. A lot of the times when I build systems and I send them out to government sites of whatever type, I'm the guy who's building, like I almost like lay out the construction of all the roads and all the stuff that's going to be there, and what they do with it is up to them. Like I don't care necessarily what they do with them. Yeah, Rosberg, you got to get out there. Although, to be fair, I've also been pretty lazy. I probably should get out to San Diego one of these days. I think the next 3 years of TwitchCon are going to be out there. I haven't been to TwitchCon ever. I probably should get out there one of these days. I mean, that is only like a 6-hour drive for me, so San Diego's not very far. So. Diamond said, yeah, they produce almost no food locally and have to container ship everything everywhere. It's the middle of nowhere geographically. Yeah. Cisco Live is in San Diego next year. That'd be cool. I'm still pretty involved with Cisco, even though I don't necessarily want to be involved with Cisco. I do a lot of Cisco type setup inside of my high performance compute stuff. Although it's funny, it's everything is Cisco iOS under the hood, even if it's like a NVIDIA type switch. They're still using iOS like commands, and that I've been using for almost 25 years now. So, this is actually, this is funny. This is my new notes. I'm going to be putting out a new book, and it's going to be focused on the engineering side of things. So I have a bunch of notes that I've been putting together around engineering and what our jobs are and that kind of stuff. So, all right. What else do we got going on then? Way better than Vegas last few years, though. Elton John was really good this year. Yeah. That's, did he play there, Diamond? Out in Vegas? I've been to Vegas a few times in the last few years. Me and the wife went out to Vegas. So Vegas is only 4.5 hours from Phoenix, if you guys don't know. It's really not that bad of a drive. And it's pretty straight. It's pretty flat most of the way, too. So it's kind of nice. You don't have too many mountains to go through. But we went out there. When was it? It was actually late last year. So it was probably almost a year ago. To see if you guys know who Nate Bargatze is. We're big fans. We've seen pretty much all of his stuff, and he had a pretty good show out there. He had his dad there, and his dad's a magician. His dad was doing acts, and some of the other guys were doing acts as well. So it was pretty good. Drove from Vegas to Zion in February, and it was the prettiest drive I've ever been on. Nice. Yeah, I think Vegas is nice. I've been in and out of Vegas early and late, and when we went there. So this was last year when we went there last year. I can tell you exactly when we were there. Most of you could probably go figure it out before I could. There were all these tall walls up on the strip, and I'm like, what the hell are these big walls? And then behind those tall walls on the strip, there were bleachers and stuff, and I was like, what the hell? And we were in the same weekend that they were going to be doing the F1. Yeah, that's exactly right. They were doing the F1 race through. So if you guys have never seen an F1 race, I've only really ever heard of it, but basically they just close off portions of a town, and then you keep all the people off of that part of the race, and then you drive the cars through, and they just race through the middle of the town all loud. And I think something happened while we were out there, actually. I think there was like an accident or something. But we ended up going and then getting out of there because we just stayed for the night. We basically went up there, we saw Nate Bargatze, we went to sleep, got up and left the next morning. And then it was interesting leaving there because sometimes like you do technology stuff and then you run into technology that really pisses you off. We went to check out, and as we drove out of the little parking garage, there was a thing, and it said to go ahead and put your ticket in. So I put my ticket in, and then I put my thing in, and it was going to be like $35 or something for the the night or whatever. I don't know what the parking was. It was like 18 or 35 or so. I was somewhere in there. And it said, nope, can't accept your card. And I said, oh, well, that's weird. So I put the little ticket in, and then I did the card again, and it said, nope, can't accept your card again. And so I did that a few times, and it just wasn't accepting it. So I said, well, that's weird. And there was nobody behind us because we were getting out of there pretty early in the morning. And then I went to put it in again. It said ticket validated, but the thing had never opened. So I ended up calling the number on there, and they're like, yeah, no, we'll run it here. Just put the card in one more time. And I was like, all right, cool. So I put my card in one more time, and we leave, right? And I don't know if there's some fucking scam out of like the thing we were going to. We were leaving. I'd have to look up the hotel, but it was like a relatively reputable hotel right on the strip. But when I went home and I checked the bank, they had charged me every effing time that they said couldn't run your card. I had like 6 or 7 charges. Yeah, and I wonder how much they just hope nobody catches that. Because the wife likes to do that stuff. The wife likes to call and fight and do all that kind of stuff. I don't. So I let her just call and fight them. But yeah, no, it was like almost $200 worth of charges extra on the card. Even though, yeah, I think so. It was probably like 35 a pop. Yeah, and they had charged it every single time that it said could not read card. They had read it every time and charged. It was. I was super mad. I was like, but not mad enough to do anything about it. I was gonna let the wife. Wouldn't they all be pending? Yeah, well, when I got home the next that day and looked at it, yeah, they were pending, and then the wife just called and took it off or whatever. But it was super annoying that like they must have problems like that all the time, or they must just, I don't know. But yeah, it was weird that it just didn't open. You know, they obviously charged me or whatever. So, all right, where are we at here? We've got the cluster. Oh, they've all rebooted. Let's go check real quick. Hold on. Let's go. No more. The server's going down. Let's just make sure. Let's do a mount grep-i for lab, and then grep again for 25, because we need to make sure that we're only pulling that one. So we should see 2 from each node. One should be read-write, one should be read-only. That's what we should see fly by here. Whoa! Mount F20A mount. Mount. I mean bad usage. Mount grep-i lab grep-i 25. I mean mount bad usage. That's exactly how you should use mount. Right, hold on, let's check something here. Oh gosh, oh man. -m shell. -a mount grep-i. Yep, that's right. And we didn't need to change that. We just need to make sure that we use the shell command. Hold on. This will go. This will be good. All right. So now for each node, we're looking for lab work to be read-write and labs to be read-only. But it's funny, they don't see that they're read-only, but they are read-only. You know what? We can fix that. But if we went to any node, what is this one? Rocky 12, right? If we go to any node and we try to write, so just touch some file into labs, test file, Rocky 12, right? This isn't gonna, it's a read-only file system. So anyway, so all right, so the lab is set up for this next part that I'm gonna do next week, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make you guys grab from labs. So you'll go into a node, right? You'll CD into labs. In here I'll have the lab work for lab 9. You'll copy that into lab work, and in here you'll be able to make your own little directory and add your lab work, and then you'll be able to do your container build stuff in there. Other things I need to do is make sure that I have Podman or Docker, which I don't have on these, so I got to install that. So that'll be part of the image going forward as well. And then let's see, what else do we need? Yeah, that's probably good for now. That's probably good. But let's see. If Ross is still around, Ross, you're up real late, man. It's like 11:30 for you. You can't be up this late. You're almost to degen hours. You can't be up in the degen hours. That's too late. But guys, I am back to normal schedule, so I'll be back on tomorrow morning. I'll be back, not tomorrow morning on. I'll be like probably watching Ross in the morning. Oh yeah, you guys are only no Q. I didn't change with all the things. You guys are only 2 hours off from me now. Yeah. You guys are only 2 hours. I need to remember that because that modifies all my. I gotta go look at my work time. When are my meetings tomorrow? Hold on. My meetings tomorrow just moved to. Let's see. Hold on. When are my meetings tomorrow? It should be 8 a.m. for me. So I get a later meeting tomorrow. So that'll be good. Yeah, I like it. I like how this works because most of my guys, most of the team that I work with are on the East Coast, so that's awesome. Yeah. So they do 10 o'clock, which was 7 for me. Now it'll be 10 o'clock will be 8 for me. So yes, I get a little more time. I'll be up. I got to go to the gym and wrestle in the morning anyways. So that's 5 in the morning. So I got to get up at 4:20 and get all ready for that. So. All right, clean up the lab, get the lab working the rest of the way, and then we'll get the Linux systems administration stuff good, and then, yeah, everything will be good. Yeah, Q, it's not too bad. I tend to be in bed by 10:30 my time, so that's still 6 hours of sleep. And, I'm not going to keep myself from having a nap in the middle of the day if I need one, right? Engineers keep their own time. We're a lot like wizards. We show up when we intend to. We're never too early or too late. I got to get back on my Prometheus studying. So if anybody wants to go get ready for Prometheus certs with me, I think I'm ready to take that cert. I just need to give it a little more time. There's Ranger Dog downstairs. He's not working too hard either. We might see the wife over here if she's not paying attention because she sometimes walks back around there in the kitchen. How are the servers looking? Servers are doing good. Everything in the lab's good. I need to patch and reboot everything soon too. Somebody was having a hard time getting in somebody messaged me earlier and said they were having a hard time getting in the server, so I got to work on that with them. I might have to give somebody access. Look, people trying to get in as root. Can't get in root on my servers. I don't allow it at SSH level, so valid failed for admin, so that's true as well. Those are all failed. None of those are going to work. I do want to see if in the last 6 hours, though, anybody tried to come in and fail from our normal user that we look for is, should be streamer. I think streamer is the default. So it looks like user streamer has come in, but probably got killed off a little while ago. Right now, actually, when I killed all the nodes, and then probably earlier somebody had died when I had rebooted the nodes earlier tonight as well. So, yeah. Go back to failed. There we go. This is in the last 6 hours, all the failed logins to my system right there. It's probably close to 300 right there, if I had to guess. Maybe a little over 300. Yeah, it's probably about 300. We could pull the exact amount if we cared, but we don't really care that much. All right, so what did we do today? We built up. Let's go over here and look. Where were my notes from earlier? Way over here. We built up a few namespaces in our Kubernetes system, which is over here. We did kubectl get ns. We built up an app and a data. In our app, we're going to do kubectl. We actually didn't build anything over there yet. We did everything in data. So kubectl, just get PV, PVC, pods, and what else do we have over there? We've got netpol from -n data. So in the namespace data, we've got these persistent volume and persistent volume claims that are back-ended off of this pod right here that's running MySQL in a newer version than I had done. And then we have two network policies, and those network policies deny everything and then allow just traffic on port 3306 out of the app namespace. So in this next part, I built the pod already to be able to be created. I built the container that's going to be instantiated by the pod here to read back into data. If we wanted to describe those namespaces, so describe, we can see that one denies everything. All traffic that's trying to ingress is blocked. And then this one punches a hole for 3306, but only if you're coming out of the app namespace. So that's acceptable to us. That's an acceptable policy to us. That's an acceptable way to do this. And in the big scheme of things, as we try to kind of hold this in our head and think about things, we can do that. One other thing I did today, and I'll put this in the Discord notes, was we were talking about when you're a new person on a team, when you're a new admin, let's say systems admin, and one of our people that was on earlier, Cuddlingus said they got a brand new job. They start tomorrow, so that's awesome. Hopefully they get some good sleep tonight. But what I was saying is, when you're a new sysadmin, document these things. If they don't have a good onboarding document on the team, make it. That'll make you look like a hero right up front. But these are some of the things that I always do right here. I go get all the documentation sources. What's the wiki page? What's the do they use SharePoint? Right? Where are all the documentation sources for our team and others, right? That are useful to us, right? What meetings should we be going to, and what meetings do I get added to in the first couple weeks? Because then somebody else new that comes on can ask all those meetings, right? Make sure I check access to whatever stuff that we have, whatever they give me. One main one here is server access. Make sure I have server access. Make sure I can take root if I'm supposed to be able to. Some teams make you wait when you first start. Points of contact, who are HR, what architects, even that we don't work with. What documentation can I review? What system or service level indicators are there? What are our current pain points? And everybody's going to know what their current pain points are, right? Q, you're racking your brain so hard with that. Yeah, drop it in the Discord. Maybe somebody's worked with it before. I haven't worked with that particular tool, but I've heard that name before, but I haven't tried to do that kind of stuff. So, system map, draw it out in Excalidraw. How do I enter a system? What jump hosts or host do I have? What naming scheme are we using? And I like to build out a logical map. And then it's actually funny, like so many times, I was saying this earlier, so many times I do this and then people think I'm like a rock star. And really I'm like, I feel like Michael Scott shaking that guy's hand, getting an award. I don't even know what I got the freaking award for. Like all I did was just the basic stuff that I think anybody should do when they're trying to figure out getting on a system, right? All right, so anyways, let me go here and let me go to meeting notes. We'll just talk from today's talks, getting or starting tasks when you're onboarding as a new system administrator, right? Boom. These are things that I think you should be doing. It's not all inclusive. It's not even prescriptive. Just if it's something that's useful to you, use it. If it's if it's not super useful, do something else. All right. You guys are welcome to hang out in Discord. Let me do one more Discord here for you guys. You guys can be down there. That's a little more persistent of a thing for you guys. Whoops. To hang out in and talk with other engineers. Oh, let me copy it. Copy. Oh, well, apparently that gave me something else. But anyways, there's the Discord link for people who want to hang out in there and talk with other people. Looks like there's some networking questions too. Oh yeah. People are working on FortiGate and FortiNet type stuff. Probably some good stuff. If you guys are interested, there's the ProLUG 16-week course. And again, man, we were up to 208 people in there, and then it reset when I was in Hawaii, and I'm not sure what happened to it or why it did it. But we're back to 18, so you'll get an alert on Saturdays when the meetings are. There you go. All right. I'm gonna go. Let's throw myself on end of stream. We'll go raid somebody over on the Twitch side of things, on the YouTube side of things. I don't have anything cool like that, but if this stuff's useful to you, feel free to keep hanging around. And let's go find who's on right now. Oh, Running Man hopped on. But we gotta go hit Practical NPC again with another raid. So we'll go raid over there. He's playing some video games, but we always give something like a do all the Linux type, our little raid chat, or tell him to attack. And I always say pillage and then burn. You gotta remember that order, because if you burn first and then pillage, that's less useful, right? All right. So we'll go right over there, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. I will talk to some of you guys tomorrow.